meeting of the CNCF, which thereby adheres to the Code of Conduct. This is the March 12th meeting for the Tag Contributor Strategy Mentorship Working Group. Still a mouthful, able to get it out better this time. It's been a couple of years of practice on that. I'm not quite tripping over it as much as I do. And we don't have a whole lot. We are the week before KubeCon here. And so there's not a lot by way of agenda items. So a couple of updates just to kick off. We've started LFX Term 1. That is, I think, it started well. We ran, Ali and I ran a couple of information sessions for everybody, both mentors and mentees. We invited, I think, 145 people and wound up with 70 showing up. So I was pleased with the attendance there, and hopefully that helps. I'm going to be trying to. One of the things I like to do is I always follow the mentors on GitHub. I'd like to start following the mentees as well, and just sort of keep tabs. I know we've got 50. I know we've got 53, I think, projects. But it would be good as administrators to sort of see how things are going, if any PRs have been opened and such. Not to jump in and be proactive necessarily, but it's sort of good to just have a sort of a sense of how things are progressing. The other thing is Google Summer of Code, and I see well, you've put something on the agenda there for us. And yeah, the applications start next week. I still need to reach out to, hopefully I'll see some of them over at KubeCon, but I need to talk to the Flux folk. Something we had discussed last week or last month, but I want to see if they're interested in participating. And we've had some more interest since the deadline for application. Rather, the deadline for proposals. So we've had, let me be precise with my words. Since the deadline for org application, which we do need proposals for, and we can get proposals subsequent to, but we've had a few, so we had a few since. So I'm going to hand off to Ali, because I think he's probably got a better sense of what we need to do for applications next week, and what we need to do in order. I think we've already started adding, I know we've started adding mentors, and I've shared the sheet with you, Ali. Let me know if you're not able to access it.
No, yeah, so so you invited a bunch of mentors already, and I was adding a few more.
Follow-up email today or tomorrow.
Yeah, so I actually now I realize, yeah, I probably need to send an email to all these folks to accept the invite, and also accept the program terms thing on Google website.
Yeah, and I think most folks have done that. Let me just bring up the here we go, the mentor list. I'm actually going to share it in the chat here. Copy link. Chat. This is the sheet that I was talking about, and I think we're only missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mentors rather. So we're doing fairly well. We actually did have a couple of folks. We had one project decide to step away, to not move forward with their project. So they've been removed from our GitHub list, and I've also taken them off of this mentor list. So that's something to be aware of. But I haven't checked this in about a week. So this is yeah. So if we can take a look at this today or tomorrow, and send out another volley of emails, just because otherwise, if folks don't do this, they're not able to look at the applications And so
Mhm.
then they're not able to participate because they can't see who, to select.
So the good
So,
thing is,
yeah.
the application period is very long, I think, for Google Summer of Code. It's like a month or something.
I agree. It is quite
Which
long.
is, yeah, which
I'm
is
okay
good, but
with
we
that.
still should add people. So I will still do this. So I created an action item for myself. And thanks for switching to Google Docs. So I can do things like that now. I can assign
Right?
stuff to myself.
Like
Yeah,
assignments and all sorts of stuff.
yeah.
Um, and where is the application deadlines for, so we've got, oh, you're talking about Google Docs on that one. Oops. Uh,
So Google Summer of Code timeline applications. Oh no, it's only 2 weeks. No,
yeah, sorry, I got confused. I was
it's
looking at the
longer. Okay.
GSOD timeline, or the GSOD timeline.
Okay,
So,
but we have 3 weeks later on to rank the proposals.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, and actually, that's a good point because um, between April, so April, I guess 20th is a Saturday. So I'm taking from the 19th, the 20th so April 20th, let's say, to I'll be back on May 13th. I'm taking 3 weeks off. Um, and so and there's also just before that, there is Write the Docs and OSS Open Source Summit. So in terms of my availability, I've got a trip and then some vacation time. So we're going to need to do some of the decision making around the ranking and whatnot earlier than we would normally do.
Yep.
Unless you're comfortable doing it by yourself after I've taken off, but I'd like to be involved. Um, so we need to be sort of on it in terms of the ranking and whatnot. Because once we get into that ranking timeline, people can't apply anymore. So we may as well get it done. Like, I mean, we usually leave it further than I'd like to leave it. And this time I'd like to do it much earlier than we would normally. Like maybe we could set some time aside the day after it opens up for ranking and look at it at that point because
So
I don't want myself to be the blocker.
that will be a bit like the hard part with the ranking is not the part for you and me. So we can just do it in 1 or 2 days. We can have like lots of meetings. The real problem is convincing mentors to press that I want to mentor this person button or not. So we can set up a deadline ourselves. We can say something like, let's say
Yeah,
April 15th. Is it too late?
I'm just bringing up the timeline here now for, oh, that's the season of docs again. Why can't I get season of code
So,
timeline? And
um,
maybe what we can do is Rian, as the other CNCF employee who's sort of always showing up at these meetings here. Maybe I can recruit you to help in this process because I know that you know a lot about the mentoring program. And I'd rather bring you in than let's say someone like Ihor, just because Ihor is busy doing the things that he needs to do. Um, but you're right, Ollie, that is going to be the issue. And unfortunately, the vacation that I'm taking, I will actually, I'm if everything goes according to Hoyle, I'm going to be sailing between Vancouver and Alaska, and so I will not be in
yeah,
communication.
that's okay. So I understood that you leave around April 20 or
April 20th, yes, I'm
yeah.
out April 20th. I'm happy to work both that Saturday and Sunday, but the 22nd really is the day that I'm starting.
Yeah, okay. So what I'm saying is we can ask mentors to make their selections, like I want to mentor this person selection
Yeah,
by April 15th, and we could have
exactly.
like 3, 4 days. I don't know if it's on a weekend or not currently.
Yeah,
We could have some days for us to do this ranking because they
because it
are
looks
not
like,
involved in the ranking. We are
yeah,
doing the ranking
usually,
after they
here's
select.
the, because looking at the timeline,
Mhm.
April 2nd is when the application deadlines are done. And then the ranking is due on the 24th. So really, I'm only going to be missing like 2 days of that.
Yeah, so but I think
Yeah,
April 15th, I don't know which day is that one. We can set a date already and say,
yeah.
okay, by April 15, mentors, please make your selection, and afterwards
That's a,
we will
that's a
do
Monday.
the ranking.
Yeah, that's a Monday. Yeah, that works for me. I will be traveling that day, but that's fine too. But
Or
that's the
16, yeah, I mean, or 16, 14, 17, you know.
well,
On 20th, we would have 3 more days, which would be enough to do the ranking, I think.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, precisely.
Now, did you know Starlink have a seafaring mobile version?
Oh, I'm sure they do. But this is not the point of that trip.
That's not the
You know,
point of the journey.
um,
No, I don't know the prices, but if I need to help Ali, I'm good.
Okay, great. Thank you. I appreciate that. And we had somebody join and then drop, and I feel badly that I didn't take the moment to say hello to them because now they've dropped. Oops, sorry about that. Whomever you were. Um, okay.
So to summarize, okay, applications start next week. I'll send an email to mentors so that they can sign in and or register and accept the terms. And then they will wait for the applications. They will, when there is an application, they will review, press I want to mentor this person button. Before that, I will send an email when the applications are closed. Uh, yeah, okay. Mail to, I'm just writing some notes.
Yep. And I think we have templated emails for that. I can't remember exactly if we do or not, but we should. So it should be a fairly straightforward email.
So when the applications close on 2nd, they will have, according to this plan, they will have 15 days
Yep.
to make that selection. That is good enough. That
Yeah.
is more than enough, actually.
Well, on the 17th, I mean, if you wanted to choose the 15th, I'm happy to do that too, because again, the 15th is that Monday. I tend to try and how do I do this? I tend to try and start things on Tuesdays. No, start things on Wednesdays, end things on Tuesdays. So I'd split the difference, maybe do the 16th.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's fine.
And then that gives us 3 days, 4 days of me still being in town to help do the ranking. And we can start even before then. We can start seeing what folks are interested in doing.
Yeah.
I remember last year we were frantic and in where were we? We were in
Amsterdam.
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 Trying to get this done. So I'm hoping we can. I'm hoping it'll be an easier time this time. Although again, I'll be on the road, so maybe it won't be. But if you have any ideas for an easier ranking system that you've used before, maybe for JBoss or whatever else you've done, is there maybe we should think about how we can best do the ranking because it's a lot. It was a lot last year.
I mean, there were spreadsheets, basically, again.
Yeah.
And the methodology there is a bit different, was a bit different because we were doing some voting kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that, honestly. Oh,
Don't
it's
want to do
so
the voting again.
complicated. So, yeah, anyway, I don't want to go too much into detail. but I think we learned some lessons last year. So in the end, we had this good process. We just need to find that spreadsheet from last year and see what we do.
Yeah, see how we can do it better. Agreed. Okay, anything else on Summer of Code? No, all right. Moving on to Summer of Docs, which Lee, I really appreciate you continuing to help out on, even though it's not really a mentoring program thing. So we are still supporting Summer of Docs, and the timeline is coming up. There's a few CNCF projects that are interested, and one of the things that I'm doing is as projects are opening, like tickets for technical writing support, and maybe this is actually more for your information, Rion. I'm suggesting two things. We're not like we don't really do like tech docs assessments or an analysis for sandbox projects. And I've been pushing folks, I've been asking them to go to our monthly open office tech docs, tech writers open office hours for sandbox projects. Now, if they look like they've got some documentation in help regardless of the level. The other thing is I've been saying, okay, if they've opened up a technical writing help ticket, I've been saying, hey, you know what? Google Summer of Docs is opening up. Take a look, see if if you've got a project that can be solved with documentation, then Google Summer of Docs is interested in potentially helping out there. So that's sort of where we're at with that. We've got a couple, BuildPax is interested. Was that the one that, is that,
Yeah, I only remember them.
Yeah.
Natalie.
Yeah, that sounds familiar to me too, so. But yeah, I'm interested in keeping an eye on it. But as it's the way we're supporting it is we'll help do proposals. We'll revise, like we'll help review proposals and whatnot. And if there's enough interest, then the CNCF can apply as an org. But if there isn't that much interest, then we're not gonna to do that. So. And historically as well, Summer of Docs, Season of Docs has been hit or miss for acceptance even for CNCF. So we've actually on occasion applied and not had anybody accepted even. So it's yeah. So we try our best.
No, but even just the hand holding into this is the route towards these solutions help a lot because there's just so much out there and people don't know how to get there.
And that's where it's nice to have like the example, like we had Wasm Edge and was it Flux last year? Who did some good work with Season of Docs. And so, yeah, we've been sharing those as proposals. It's like, hey, these were accepted. And again, I'm probably going to go through the JIRA tickets today and sort of say, okay, here's like, if anybody's asking me for tech docs help, like this is a way to help get capacity for writing. So I'll be going through that. Yeah.
And you can also ping me if there are any. Okay, you said JIRA, so they are not public things, but I would be happy to review their proposals like last year.
Awesome, and I appreciate that. And what I'll do then is if I get like a GitHub issue or whatever, or a PR that somebody opens, I'll ping you on that, CCU, and I really do appreciate your help on that. That's really, really helpful. Okay, anything else on Season of Docs? Summer Docs, Season of Docs? No, okay.
Maybe we should propose that they get a better name because we just mess it up all the time.
They've got a branding problem just generally because people think that it's a mentoring program because it's so similar in name to Google Summer of Code, but it isn't. It's not a mentoring program at all. It's a do you have a problem that can be solved through documentation program? And they don't expect any mentorship of the writers that get hired. They actually hire experienced writers to do the work, right? So it's a very different program with a significant branding issue. So I agree, and yeah, I've told them.
Oh, so they're aware.
Well, I'm sure, yeah, it's one of those things. Okay, I'll let you talk about this next one here, Ellie, because you're organizing it.
Yeah, so Rian, I think I also invited you to this mini summit thing that I call. Like it was on a Friday where I wanted to meet with mentoring related people.
Is that
But
at TIBCon?
yeah,
Yeah,
you're invited.
Paris. Are you going to Paris, Riyadh?
Yes, I am.
Yes, I thought you might be. Um, were you invited to the CNCF hangout slash dinner thing on Friday?
The one Friday. Yes, I have.
Yeah, was it? Because it looked like there might be an overlap, but there also looks like there might not be an overlap with this summit, with this. So if there isn't, then we can do it. But if there is, or if it looks like it's going to go long, like I don't want to, no offense, I don't want to step away from the CNCF dinner on,
Yeah,
um,
I bet it's very nice. So I don't blame you.
Oh, you've sent it to my private Gmail.
Paige is
Bear
very
with
good
me.
at local restaurants that are fantastic.
So anyway, yeah, this event was planned for the Friday evening, but then Nate is not coming. And the
No.
reason that I'm
Oh.
organizing for this is basically spending with other mentoring, spending time with other mentoring folks. And if
Yeah.
Nate is not coming, so I thought maybe we can pick another date. And can you write me the email address that you would like to receive an invite, Rian? So the idea
Let,
is, yeah, sorry. Now the idea is meeting on Thursday evening, right, Nate?
Yeah, I think Thursday would be better. But again, the Friday may actually work because we're doing like a happy hour, but I thought there was a dinner as well on Friday. So I think Thursday would be better for me. I'm not sure about,
I would also work better on Thursday.
yeah,
Let me drop my
so the
email address.
21st. So like even at the same time, just one day earlier, I think.
Okay, which one you like? I didn't get it. Thursday or Friday?
Thursday for me.
Thursday. Okay. So I'm gonna update the invite with Thursday.
And I share a new
Um,
email address to you in
yeah.
Slack.
Slack. Oh, this is your new email. Okay, I don't have that one.
You like made you collect them. It's like that's a new email.
Okay, so I'm just adding you to the current event, Rian, but I'll update it like the date
Cool.
soon.
I'm not sure if he'll be able to make it, but Dan Middleton from Confidential Computing Consortium is also going to be at KubeCon, and he might be interested to join.
Cool.
And also Sal Kimish will also be at KubeCon, which is going to be the mentor person for CCC.
Cool.
So if that would be appropriate, I could maybe ask if they also want to come around.
Sure. Definitely. I think you can. I generally set up meetings that attendees can, or people invited can add other people. Yeah. So you can do that. Just add them to the invite. If that would be fine.
What I'll do is when I bump into them there in person, I will personally invite them.
Yeah,
and
that's
see if
also
they-
fine. Yeah, but as I said, so I'll move this meeting to Thursday. And what I'm thinking about is, I mean, no agenda or something, not an official meeting, just maybe have some dinner, depending on how hungry we are, or have some drinks or coffee or whatever, and
Yeah.
talk about mentoring.
Cool.
Sounds like a plan.
Thank you for organizing that. That's going to be a lot of fun, I think. Now I have lost where did my notes go? There they are. Um, the next item on the agenda here again is yours.
Yeah.
Ali, I'm not sure what you mean by canvassing here. So let's.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I'm using that word correctly. I just
Yes, you
recently
are.
learned about it. So we are gonna visit the project booths in KubeCon. I'm trying to find the spreadsheet for that. And I thought maybe there are more people that I can invite to that activity. And so we are gonna visit the project kiosks and talk about tag contributor strategy.
Cool.
If you're interested, here is the sheet.
I was just going to ask for the sheet because I am definitely interested. I'm probably going to help out on the etcd booth as well. So this isn't booth. So we don't have a booth this year. We're doing just like this wandering around thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we have a
that's-
booth, but it will be for deaf and hard of hearing group.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, you can go there, obviously. I will stop by, but I can't really talk about their activities too much, so I'll be a visitor.
Yeah.
But I think they would appreciate any kind of help. So yeah, we are not gonna do the booth, the kiosk, booth, whatever, and we're gonna just visit other kiosks
Yeah. No,
as
that
pairs.
sounds very much like my whole KubeCon experience. So yes, that was kind of what I was planning on doing anyway. So yeah, I can put my name on probably several of these. I haven't gone through and like done up my full schedule for meetings and what talks and whatnot I'm going to, but I'll keep this in mind while I'm doing
Yeah.
that probably this afternoon or tomorrow morning.
I also shared with you the general canvassing points, the things to talk about, and you can should actually extend that to talk about mentoring as well.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I would, yeah, if we can, yeah, we have something in mentoring programs there already. So yeah, that's good.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think specifically for younger projects, it might be a good change of scenery to get younger and younger projects to see the value of mentoring people to grow their projects.
I'm sorry, say again?
I say it might even be useful for the sandbox projects to hear enough about mentoring
yeah.
and how they can grow their own project by reaching out to others and mentoring them, get work done in their project, and everybody gets helped.
Yeah, that's very true. I think the sandbox is probably one of our biggest opportunities for growth for the mentoring program. I think that um, getting more sandbox folks involved in mentoring is sort of like, I mean, we've been at about 150 per year for the last couple of years. I think that sort of activating the sandbox is how we can sort of push through that and get some more folks involved. We have a lot of people who are repeat sort of mentors, which is great. I never want to discourage that, but I think we need to encourage more folks to. So yeah, so any opportunity we have to talk about the mentoring program while we're at KubeCon is a good, I think, good use of time.
Thanks for driving that, Ali.
And then details about keeping an eye on mentees. That's what I was talking about earlier. Again, I was thinking.
Yeah, so
We
I added that after I heard that you wanted to do something like that. I was curious, but then there were other things that we talked about, and I just took a note there to ask you again. But if there's any other thing that you guys want to talk about, let's talk about that first.
I don't think there's much else I need to bring up at this point.
Okay, then can you I'm a bit interested in, for example, using the GitHub API and things like that. I'm doing similar things for, okay, I don't want to go into details, but yeah, anyway, I was actually recently writing some tool that talks to GitHub API and collects some information and stuff like that. So maybe I could come up with something like that to monitor mentee activities for certain repositories or certain organizations, for example.
Yeah.
Or let me start with this one. What did you have in your mind when you said you want to keep an eye on?
One of the things that I would like is even just like because we have all the GitHub users, right? If they have got like if they've got like no activity in a week or two, then I want to know what about that, right? Like if I can set like a cron job to run every Friday to see, okay, has everybody made like a commit or a PR in the last 2 weeks? Otherwise, flag them, right? Um, that doesn't necessarily like, and again, I'm a little hesitant to sort of formalize it like this, but it's one of those things where I just want to sort of know whether or not I need to reach out to the mentors and say, okay, what's going on? Like, is so and so doing okay? Have they got the support that they need? They're not opening up. They're not doing commits. They're not opening PRs. And it doesn't. I don't even know that it not necessarily has to tie to the org. I mean, the org would be good, I guess, but it's like there's not a lot of projects that don't sort of revolve around GitHub. So I think just the easiest way to keep tabs would be to, and I was also looking at maybe like DevStats might be an interesting way of looking into it. Although DevStats, if I'm being perfectly honest, confuses me every time I look at it. It took me forever even just to find my own score. I was like, oh my goodness.
DevStats is great, but I don't know if it's really good for this kind of purpose. So it's
Yeah.
more like aggregation and things like that. That would be nice.
Because
Or
this all this would need is like a CSV of the mentees' usernames, and then hit the GitHub API and just see what when their last PR was or when the last commit was.
So I can actually come up with something like that, although maybe not for this term of LFX, Google Summer of Code, because it will take time, this kind of thing, I think. But can you do this with Bitergia, for example, or any other similar tools? Because I'm guessing you have
think-
access there. I don't.
I think we could. I don't yet have the Liturgia subscription, so I'm not able to do that just yet. And those discussions are still sort of ongoing. So it's yeah. At this point, no. But it's one of those things that like I think this would be a fairly easy, quick script. Now, yeah. So I mean, yeah, that's where I don't want to say too much.
Another possibility there is LFX tools and looking
Is that-
into insights or community manager. I'm not sure exactly because you're gonna have this thing run over several. Narav is actually gonna be at KubeCon. And
Yep.
Daniel said he wants to sit down with Narav about insights and things that insights can deliver. So maybe that would be also a good question to ask him. Say, hey, this is kind of what the problem looked like.
Yeah.
What do you suggest? And they might come up with a simple solution. Yes, we already have this thing. We just plug in the names over here or something like that.
Mhm.
Because if they're going to write something from scratch, it's going to not be a solution soon. But if they have a thing that we can just plug it in and populate, as you say, with the CSV of the people or something like that, that can work.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's several ways of looking at it. I've also heard that there might be some updates being made to the LFX platform itself. And this is the type of thing that I would like to have it look at as well, as a stretch goal or a bonus. But I also don't want to not do it because there might be an option to do it later, right? If we can do something that is quick and dirty, it might be worth it to do it quick and dirty. Just because
quick and dirty might be an inspiration to the LFX team and say, please do it better. And
right.
So that's exactly what I'm offering. Quick and dirty, although not that quick because I'm
Not
busy.
that quick, but
But
very busy.
yeah, yeah. But I think adding something like that to LFX platform, yeah, it will take like it won't be quick for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
for example, for Knative, I created this repo. Give me a second to find the correct thing. Writing this, so I wrote the tool where you basically paste a GraphQL query. That's
Cool.
how you interact with the GitHub API. And then it fetches the data from GitHub for that query. The query cannot be fetched, at one shot because there will be pages, there will be timeouts, there will be all these other stuff. But
Mhm.
anyway, for example, this list is like people who contributed to Knative and when was their first commit. Like, for
Mhm.
example, this person committed
Yeah.
their first commit this date. Using this now, we are able to do this nice thing. So every month I go and check this list, see who is there for the past month, like February. I start from top and send a post in Knative social media about like, hey, these are the new contributors to Knative, for example.
Cool.
So there are much better tools for this, which I don't have access to. One of them could be Turgy.
Yeah.
So I came up with this solution for this. So I can do some data aggregation as well, things like that. Um, and a better part would be, of course, visualizing this whole thing instead of just looking at JSON. That's another story, though.
Yeah. It would actually, I mean, that makes me think of all sorts of other stuff that we could do. And I do need to talk to the insights folks, but it would be fun to see like the velocity of a mentee and see who is responding on their PRs and whatnot, and just sort of build that web. It could be really interesting. So, but yeah,
I mean, if you have time, maybe you can write a little bit of draft about, it doesn't have to be exact. And
yeah,
I
yeah,
can try to build that thing because that is also personally for me, it's good because I'm trying to build some more examples for this tool that I created.
cool.
Um, I created this report, for example, State of Open Source Contribution in Turkey, which
Cool.
sounds very professional. So I was able to do this kind of stuff.
Oh,
People,
nice.
Interesting.
number of GitHub users
What is
per province. So these are provinces in Turkey.
what is the dark blue versus the light blue?
Volume.
That is like density. Like, for example, Ankara, capital city,
Ah,
has like, yeah, it moves away. But if you check this number, it has a higher count per 1 million people.
that's
And
the interesting thing. So it's contributions per person. That's cool.
yeah, or GitHub users. These
Yeah,
are GitHub users, but list goes on. So I have more charts and stuff like that.
cool.
So it would be another use case for me personally to use
Yeah.
that.
Is that like a Jupyter notebook or
That report.
yeah.
No, I don't know how to use Jupyter Notebook. So this is all. Do you know the library D3.js? So
D3? No, I don't.
visualization library. So this is
Cool.
all JavaScript and stuff, and the
Yeah.
tool itself is also JavaScript. And I'm running everything on GitHub Actions, so I don't have to run the whole thing myself.
So what
And
is
it creates a PR for me when it finds when it is done with the current set of data, like for this month, for example.
yeah. Cool.
We need to sit down at KubeCon about this. I like it.
Yeah, this is really neat. I'd love to step through this with you.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking maybe I can send a talk for this but not how I created the report, but what could be possible with GitHub data to the OSS summit somewhere. I don't know where.
This looks like a
Cool.
good blog post.
That's another opportunity. Yeah, anyway, I can talk
Yeah.
about this for probably another 17 minutes of the rest of the time. Yeah.
Very cool. No, that's really neat. I appreciate you showing me that. But that's exactly sort of what I'm thinking of in terms of like visualizing the mentee sort of mentee mentor relationship, and again, sort of seeing like the velocity and seeing how like things ramp up, and see when the busy times are, and see. It would also help us understand, okay, who's doing well, who's struggling, who's needing maybe a little bit more help. And again, seeing the interactions between the public interactions on GitHub between like the mentees and the mentors, I think could be interesting as well.
But these are all great, and I would be super interested to find out that data and also visualize. But maybe, yeah, as I said, please write them down. These are good stuff.
All right.
We shouldn't forget them. And I'm not making any guarantees that I could
Of
be
course,
able
yeah.
to do all of them, but I can give it a try.
Cool. I'll keep that in mind. And again, we should talk, like I said, we should step through that. Maybe you can send us the link to the repo offline in Slack so that we can take a dig through what you've already got set up there for Turkish developers. It looks like a really cool system.
That's really some great work.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that might be a meeting. Is there anything else that anybody wants to talk about before we give ourselves 15 minutes back?
I'm good.
No? All right, well, I'll see you both. See you both in a couple of days in Paris.
See you there.
All right.
Yes,
Bye.
bye.
Thanks. Bye.